Welcome to the Initiative for Faith and Family, where we are strengthening the home. We are in a series on intentional parenting, and today we're going to talk about a time to play. I mean, what is playing? Oftentimes it can be hard to talk about this topic, especially as parents and especially as believers, because sometimes our view of God is not that He is a playful God, nor that He cares for playfulness. But when we look at Scripture, that's simply not the case. One of my favorite Christmas movie scenes is in Santa Claus 2, where you have Santa Claus, he's needing to find a wife, and he's starting to date the principal at his son's school, and so she invites him to come to this staff faculty party. And he shows up at this party, and all of the faculty, a bunch of teachers and adults, are just having the most boring time. And so what he does is he uses a little magic, and he pulls out a bag of toys, and all of a sudden he starts pulling out toys that all of these faculty members wanted when they were children. And all of a sudden you see the atmosphere shift. It's like all of a sudden people who didn't want to talk to each other, people who were having the boringest of times, all of a sudden become playful and are connecting with one another. Laughter is starting to erupt in the room, and the party is brought back to life. And this is what I think God is in the business of doing with His people, restoring to us laughter and bringing us back to life. In Zechariah 8:5, the prophet kind of looks forward and sees this vision of the New Jerusalem. And one of the things he says is, in the New Jerusalem, what we're going to see is just tons of boys and girls playing in the street. Oftentimes in the Gospels, we see the disciples and others trying to keep the children away from Jesus. And Jesus goes, no, let the little children come to me. When we look at this word children in the New Testament, one phrase that we could swap it out with is, let the dependent come to me. Let those who are looking to rely upon me come to me. And I think one of the gifts God gives us to remind us that we are dependent beings is the ability to play, the ability to return to joy, the ability to return to the fact that, God created us to enjoy where He has placed us in His good creation. And sometimes this can be difficult. Maybe when kids are little, it seems a lot simpler to hop on the floor and play with toys or build a fort, and embrace imagination again. But as your kids get older, sometimes this begins to get lost in the home. And this is an invitation for parents to get creative. Go on trips with your kids, to embrace new hobbies with your kids. One of the things I delighted most in as a son was my dad always invited me to do the things with him that he enjoyed doing. So I learned how to play chess. I learned to play tennis. I went snowboarding, and my dad knew that playing with me was one of the best ways to grow in relationship with me. And so the invitation for us as parents, but more importantly as God's people, is to learn how to embrace the reality of play and be intentional with it in our lives.